When we see that person at the coffee shop that asked for, a soy latte and got a whole milk latte and goes just ballistic, extremely overreacting to things and not being able to handle just the tiniest little adversity, you can you have a pretty good idea that person hasn't been through much. This is the Mental Mettle podcast, where we explore how to forge mental toughness and resilience in every aspect of life. Welcome, I'm your host, Coach Matt Thomann. I'm an ICF certified professional coach with a background as a teacher, basketball coach, and athletic director. But my journey took a dramatic turn in 2020 when I survived both cancer and a stroke. Those experiences shaped my mission to help others grow stronger in every facet of life. Today, I work with athletes, coaches, educators, and anyone who believes that positive mental health is both achievable and a personal responsibility. This podcast is dedicated to helping listeners develop a positive version of toughness, one rooted in resilience, focus, and growth. Whether you're looking to excel on the field, in the classroom, or in life, this is your space to learn, grow, and take action. Join me on this journey, and together, let's forge your mettle. Hey parents, before we jump into the episode, just a real quick thing. I've got a webinar coming up. It's on May 19th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, it's a webinar. It's for parents. It's called A Parent Guide for Using Praise to Raise Mentally Tough Athletes. It's good stuff. I'm limiting it to 15 participants so that we can have some back and forth, so that we can have some conversation. It's going to be good stuff. It's only $35, which isn't much. You're going to spend more than that at Culver's the next time after practice you don't feel like cooking. So really not much. I'm looking forward to it. It's May 19th, 7:30. The link to sign up is in the show notes. Jump in right away, get your spot, and I'll see you there. So let's talk about the word mettle for a minute. Obviously, the name of the podcast is the Mental Mettle podcast. The name of my business is Mental Mettle Coaching. But we really don't know the word outside of sportscasters saying it once in a while. They love to say, he tested their mettle or showed his mettle. But we don't really lean into the word a lot. It's not used all that much. It's part of the reason why I like it. I love sharing new words and concepts, and I try to be a little bit of a wordsmith when I can. But I really like the word because the word mettle really embodied some things that I went through when I was starting this business, and what I think is a really positive way to live and a great way to live. So let me break down the word for a minute. So the word mettle is a person's ability to face adversity in a spirited and resilient manner. And the word spirited in there is what I love about it, because what it's saying, the word spirited, is like to do something with enthusiasm, and it's like connected to your soul. It's like it's deeply enjoying and leaning into something. And so when we apply that to adversity, it means I'm really almost a little bit enjoying facing this adversity. And that is, it can be a difficult thing for some people to understand. It is an idea that can be very foreign to a lot of people. So you read that and you hear what I say and you say, well, you're telling me that when things are really hard in my life, I should enjoy that. Matt, there's just that's not how things are. That's not what, we shouldn't enjoy when things are really hard. And I get that if you've never experienced that and you've never tried to lean into that, it seems like it's BS. It's like, that's just something people say, but it's not really something that's possible. Well, if you start to practice it and you start to lean into it and you start to learn how to do it, you actually really start to enjoy and almost crave that adversity. And that's what this idea of mettle is, and forging your mettle. And that's why at the end of every podcast, I end it with the idea of forge your mettle, because it is creating that ability to actually enjoy the adversity. But it doesn't just happen. You can't, like, the idea of forging something, the old, the word forge comes from like lighting a fire and putting like iron and steel and putting it in and heating it up and shaping it and creating a suit of armor or a sword. Like, those things don't happen by accident. You don't trip and turn on a forge and drop something in there, and the next thing you know, I've got a suit of armor. It's like it's a very intentional process. And the same goes for forging your metal, your mental metal in your mind, and being able to face that adversity with a spirited and resilient way. And that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's, we kind of know this a little bit. It's a little bit intuitive. Anybody that has faced some severe adversity, whether it's the loss of someone or health or a life scare or something like that, and they've faced it and they come out the other side, they kind of um, they can be a different person, right? That when they've overcome some serious issues, they change their mindset a little bit, and that's not just perspective. Now, perspective and realizing what's important and what's not after this life scare, absolutely, perspective can give you the insight, but it's the way that it changes the way you think every day, and then that starts to actually literally change neurons in your brain to make you see things differently. I say it all the time that I had in the middle of that. I mean, that's a little bit of my story, but it's applicable here in the middle of the COVID COVID mitigation stuff in 2020 with everything shut down. I had testicular cancer. My wife had some serious back surgery, and then I had an ischemic stroke, and this was all within 4 months. And that's a lot. And it's a lot to overcome, and it definitely changed my perspective. But it was mostly about the insight about what was important, what's not, and putting all those things that happened to me. Once I leaned into it and started realizing things, it allowed me the perspective I needed to change the way that I saw the world. And I'm able now to look back and say, I understand that these things didn't happen to me, they happened for me. Like, I am a better person because of these things happening. And it's such a, again, it's not saying that I want to go back out and have another stroke and have more cancer and have all these things. I don't want that. But on the same breath, I know that that changed me and gave me the ability to move forward and be better. And it also changed the way I see life's little inconveniences that sometimes bother us. And it's, I mean, I'm sure there's examples that will prove me wrong here, but when we see that person at the coffee shop that asked for, a soy latte and got a whole milk latte and goes and just ballistic. I mean, the internet's full of stuff like that, and people like extremely overreacting to things and not being able to handle just the tiniest little of adversity. You can you have a pretty good idea that that person hasn't been through much, right? Because a little mistake like that makes a huge impact in their life, where somebody who's been through a lot of things is also like, okay, it's not that big a deal. I'll just grab another one, or at least calmly handle the situation rather than, like, again, go ballistic. But so it's interesting though, because we know that when we face this adversity, it gives us the ability to face more adversity, and it like compiles, and you get better at it, and you get better at it, and you get better at it. And honestly, I guess you could sit around. Well, life is going to throw stuff at you. Like let's get that out of the way, that you are going to have the ability to face adversity in your life, some way, some shape, some form. It just happened. So you could say that, well, you could just sit around and wait for the bad thing to happen. And be like, well, I'll figure it out then, and then I'll be better. I'll just wait till I get cancer, and then I'll change my mind about life and how things go. And that's ridiculous. We shouldn't do that. But you're going to get faced with what I call the mandatory adversity, things like cancer, the stroke, injuries, a loss of a family member, or something like that's worldwide, like COVID. It's going to happen. But I think knowing that stuff is coming, I think it's kind of your responsibility to put yourself through intentional adversity that's going to help you change those neurons in your mind so that you forge your mettle on your own, so that when those bad things happen, you're more prepared to handle them. So life is going to throw this mandatory adversity at us. The best thing that we can do to be prepared for that is to put our bodies and our brains through intentional adversity on purpose. And again, the beautiful part about that is you can start to learn to love putting yourself through that intentional adversity, because otherwise you'd be like, well, if I'm just putting myself through adversity all the time and I hate it and it sucks, then I will just wait until something bad can happen and I'll just enjoy all the good while it happens. Well, again, the trick is to learn to enjoy the adversity and forge your mettle. And there's all sorts of things you can do to face that intentional adversity. A lot of it is going to be physical. In my life, I've done a lot of running. I've done a lot of lifting. Now I do the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all those things. And those are things that are good for my body, my physical health. But I know that they're intentional adversity on purpose. And now I understand the importance of that to where I actually really enjoy it. But you can also do some intentional adversity that aren't quite as physical. That's a lot of what I'm talking about now when I'm doing the Monthly Mettle Challenge. I'm changing some things in my schedule to get myself to do things. And they're not, I wouldn't say they're all that hard necessarily, what we might not call intentional adversity, but they are a little bit, because you have to go out of your way to change your schedule, to do something on purpose and kind of make yourself do this. And so January, I did gratitude, and I had to journal about gratitude every evening. And that's not hard per se, but it's hard to remember to do it. You have to change something to do it. I leaned into my faith in February. Again, not hard, but I had to change my schedule and make myself do that. And I gained a lot of that. So I'm continuing to do both of those things. And then in March, I did fasting. That's very intentional, on purpose. I do the 16-8 method now. I love doing that. And that's very intentional. And that's a little bit of adversity. And then the month of April, I did the digital detox, taking my phone, not having it by me, and intentionally depriving myself. It's kind of like a digital fasting is what it is. So the same kind of an idea. Again, not overly difficult intentional adversity, but still it's doing things intentionally on purpose to make yourself better and do things better and be prepared. So for, you know, just building that, some mental benefits when you do these things. And yeah, so I continue to do all those things now, those 4 things that I've done. Plus I continue to do all of the physical things, the exercise that I love to do. And I'm doing all those things, and I do them, and I really enjoy them now. I'm seeing the benefits I get from it. And so I'm feeling that idea of mettle and facing adversity in a spirited and resilient manner. So what I've got coming up in the month of May, I've got a new one coming up. And this one's really cool because I think it's a physical way to increase not just the physical body, but the mental. It has a lot of mental benefits as well, but it's very passive. So when I go for a hike with my weighted vest, or I go lift, or I do jiu-jitsu, those are not passive whatsoever. Those are physical things that I have to go lean into. You got to go get ready. You got to do these things, and then it's a lot of hard work, and you're really going to put some effort into it. They're very active, intentional, physical adversity. What I've got going on for May is what I call intentional physical adversity that's very passive. All you have to do is sit there. Now, before I dive into what that is that I'm going to do and what that plan is, I'm just going to run through a few of the benefits that I want to see in May. Before I tell you what I'm going to do too much, here's the benefits. Let's run down this list of some of the things that I'm looking for in May and tell me if you don't think this seems like a good idea. All right, so here we go. I want to see reduction in stress and anxiety. Never a bad thing. Improved sleep quality. Again, always a good thing. Enhanced cognitive function. So it helps me think better, but also protects against neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, stuff like that, and good brain health. Also, I'm looking for improved mood and reduced symptoms of depression. And I'm also looking for I'm hoping to see more enhanced focus and alertness. So a little bit of activation of the sympathetic nervous system for more concentration, all these things. And then physically, some of the things that I'm going to see, which anytime that we are, doing good things for our physical body, it helps our mental state as well. The connection, I haven't talked about it too much on this podcast. A few episodes I've talked about just the importance of embodiment and the importance of leaning into how your body feels and how that really helps our mental health and vice versa. The connection there, the mind-body connection is huge. So anytime that we're doing these things and making our bodies better, it helps our mind too. Not that there's nothing wrong with helping our bodies too. That's good. So some of the physical things I'm going to look for are just improved cardiovascular health, a little muscle recovery and pain relief, some detox, getting toxins out of your body, reducing inflammation and swelling. It's always a good one for me, especially with all the jujitsu and stuff. I just get a lot of inflammation. It's on my own doing. I get it, but still it helps. And also some better immune function, more white blood cells, just better immunity. And then also with this plan that I have has been proven to show that it's going to actually show exactly what I'm talking about which is that increased mental resilience. So by just doing this passive physical idea where you just sit there, you are actually building that mental resilience that I'm talking about, forging your mettle, learning how to enjoy discomfort, learning to enjoy adversity, and actually seeing benefits from it, and actually literally changing your neural pathways. They can show it on brain scans. If you do the right actions, you do the right things, and you practice them enough, your brain scans, your brain chemistry, your brain neurons, everything changes. It is not just this mythical idea. It is a real idea. You can change the way you think, the way you believe, all these things. It's the point of why I'm doing this monthly mettle challenge, is to do these things. And it's why I'm trying to get you to do it with me, because you can change the way you think about things, the way that you see your world. And this one, you can do it just by sitting there. Now, there's a catch. If you haven't figured it out yet, there's a big catch in just sitting there. The two activities that I'm going to do for the monthly mettle challenge in May is I'm going to use a sauna, specifically an infrared sauna, and a cold plunge ice bath. Now, I've practiced these some, and I've seen some benefits, but I've never been overly consistent with it. Even though I know all these things that I just wrote or just read and looked up, and everything that I have there is all from studies. I know these, and I'm a big science guy. I love to look up studies and see things, and you hear it all the time. This stuff is going to help. It works. It helps, but it's very hard because again, it's intentional, it's adversity, and you don't want to just sit in a sauna forever sweating like crazy. At least I don't enjoy that. And I really don't want to go sit in an ice bath for 5 minutes at 40 some degrees. It sucks. It's not good. But when I think about that list of things that I gained from it and that increased mental resilience just by sitting there and knowing that I'm going to get better at it, that's the good part, right? I'm going to get better at it. It's going to be really hard at first. I think that keeps us from doing things at first because it stinks. We don't want to do it and it's hard, but you'll get better at it. We see people all the time that can do things and we say, oh, I could never do that. Anytime anybody says that, oh, I could never do that. If anybody says that to me anytime on something, I could never do that, I would say, well, I couldn't either. Right. And that's the idea. Put yourself into that hard situation, do something hard and get better at it. And you can do that now. So despite knowing all this, again, I haven't been consistent with it. I haven't done it. I want to do it for May for the Monthly Mettle Challenge. And as usual, I enlist some help of a friend of mine to do some coaching. This time I've got an LSCC, a Lark Song certified coach. That's the organization that I go back where I got my certification, where I go back and do some teaching. I did some last month, go back and do the on-sites and help train the next coaches. My friend, Tracy Kurska, great coach. I actually trained her a little bit when she was coming through, but she's a phenomenal coach, author, just great woman. And I just got her on here because I need some help gaining some insight on how I want to do this, how I want to get excited, and honestly, to get some accountability, because I know Tracy, she's a doer. And if I get it out there, we talk about this, say I'm going to do it, and she's going to be my accountability. She'll make sure I get it done, and I get it done. So let's jump into my coaching conversation. Again, it's a real coaching conversation. We didn't preface any of this stuff. Coaching is great stuff. It's just great stuff. But yeah, we're going to jump into this coaching conversation with LSCC Tracy Kurska. Your athlete probably spends hours working on the specific skill set they need for their sport. And they probably spend hours in the weight room building their body. But how much time do they spend intentionally training their mind? Well, building mindset is the key to bridging the gap between the skills that we see and game execution. Well, Mental Mettle coaching provides individual programs that can help your athlete develop this third and crucial skill set. Coaches, do you dream of guiding mentally tough athletes towards a championship? Kids that are resilient, persistent, and unshaken by setbacks. Well, in today's world, those athletes aren't born. They have to be developed. Many athletes face significant challenges and risk burnout. So how do we foster that mental toughness without overwhelming them? Well, introducing the Ember to Inferno program, Building Mentally Tough Athletes. This series is designed specifically for coaches, offering a deep dive into your own journey of mental toughness and equipping you with practical tools to build confidence and belief in your athletes. Rather than just simply adding more adversity to their life, we focus on creating a strong foundation for mental resilience. You'll learn how to transform a spark of motivation into a blazing fire of toughness, using techniques that address challenges like social media pressures, athletic stress, and trauma. Don't just wish for mentally tough athletes, build them. Join the Ember to Inferno program today and ignite the potential in your athletes. For more information, contact me, Coach Thomann, at Mental Mettle Coaching. All right. Welcome to the show, Tracy. Tracy Kurska, good friend of mine and a fantastic coach. So I'm happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. This is fun.
No, it'll be good. So just to keep an update on, I know that you pay attention to the podcast a little bit, but I want to make sure that you know where I've gone, because I think it might, a little bit of background can help you figure out where I'm going here. So you don't jump in trying to coach me cold, right? You get a little bit of an idea. So as you probably know, I'm doing the Monthly Mettle Challenge, a different well-being tactic every month. January, I started with gratitude. Great place to start. I went to leaning into my faith in February. It was a good one. The fasting I did in March, and now I'm doing a little digital detox in April, where I'm really trying to make sure I shut my phone down while I'm working and try to use that less. And um, no pressure, but so far, like I am continuing to do all of the things, like all the way from
Wow.
like the things that I developed through the coaching and started doing this, like they've morphed a little bit, but
Okay.
it is, each one of them has added something to my my routine, maybe not daily, but at least every other day, or as
Hmm.
applicable as I'm figuring out what I need to do.
Sure.
So it's, again, no pressure, but it's really working out really well. It's kind of
That's
changing
great.
some stuff in my life. So
Yeah.
uh yeah, so I'm excited for you to help me with this month,
Yeah.
and and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay. I love it. So you
Yeah.
ready? Let's get this going.
I'm passing the baton to you. You're in charge.
Cool.
You're the coach. You can go.
All right. Well, tell me what you want coaching around today.
Okay, so my next goal, and as you know, everything I'm trying to do is the overall reaching goal for this entire year that I'm doing is just to help some more mindfulness activities, mental health stuff, trying different things.
Mhm.
And this month I'm doing a little bit of a twofer. I want to practice using a sauna and an ice bath, maybe one then the other, and use them. I know, here's what's really cool. What I think is, this one's going to be really a connection between, there's definitely a physical element,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
but I'm really wanting to lean into it for the mental element, right?
Gotcha.
So,
Mhm.
not that, and I think that's something that we all struggle with, is missing the connection between the physical and the mental. So it's there. But
Yes.
yeah, so that's what I know that there's all sorts of uh physical things about saunas and ice baths, but I'm more interested in using that for some mental health benefits and
Gotcha.
trying to figure
Okay.
out what I want that to look like, and also how do I get rolling on that, cuz yeah,
Right.
it's yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're looking at dipping your toe into ice bathing
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Yeah.
hopefully more than a toe. Um,
Yeah.
so where you are now, have you done it before?
Yeah. So I think that's a great question to start with, because yeah, I've done some sauna, I've done some ice bath, I've done sauna, then ice bath, but only just like nothing you would call consistent.
Okay.
Like I might I might say that I do it, and I do it, but it's like, I don't know. It's nothing consistent. Like if we were trying to do a research study on seeing the benefits, I'm nowhere near sort of like
You're not part of
consistent.
the
And
case study.
I'm not, right. You would be like, okay, you've tried it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So maybe on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are now.
Oh, well, I mean, when I say I've tried it, that was like, maybe I had a little stint where I was doing some of it 4 or 5 months ago. I haven't done it more than once or twice in the last 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
I
kind
haven't
of
been
on the
doing it
lower
all.
end of the scale.
Oh, it's an awareness, and I can say I've done it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where would you like to be then? Say at the end of this
Well,
session, where do you want to be?
I want to. Here's what I want to know. I want to do it enough that I could be like, at the end, I could either be somebody. I want to have somebody. I want to be somebody who has enough experience to be like, yes on this, or no on that. Like, be like, yes, here's, and maybe give some guidance. Be like, here's what I think you should do. You should try. I've tried
Mhm.
this. I've done this. This is the benefits I see. I want to be able to speak intelligently on it. And yeah, like even if I was gonna say write a paper about it, or speak about it just for a little bit to somebody, and know what I'm talking about, rather than just
Yes.
something I've read or tried a couple times.
Right. Less head knowledge, more experience.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Um, so I'm guessing what initially brought you to this idea of using ice bath and
I
sauna?
mean, I'm
Is it from
always
coaching?
on. Is it what?
Is it from your years of coaching? Did it come up?
No. This is I think some of it came up recently. It's just been a little bit of a trend recently. Some of the
Okay.
stuff with sauna
Okay.
and the ice bath, and I've
Mhm.
seen it. And then I'm always, anytime something, it probably came across on social media somewhere talking about how it can affect your mental state and
Right.
clarity and stress reduction
Okay.
and things like that. And whenever I hear some things like that, I go, "Ooh, that piques my interest." Right.
Mhm.
So I'm
Mhm.
sure it popped up somehow, some way on social media, different people talking about it. And then of course I've done some, I haven't read the book. Maybe I should, about the Wim Hof. If you've heard of Wim Hof, all about the breathing, and there's a
Oh,
whole thing on
okay.
that. He's the
Right.
dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So he kind of made it famous. So, um, yeah. So just, I don't know. I just saw some things about it, and I'm like, rather than just take people's advice for it, I'm like, maybe I should just
Right.
lean into it.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm wondering, like, we know there's physical benefit,
Hmm.
but I'm wondering how you tie that to like soul and spiritual benefit. Can you tie from your physical benefits to like you internally?
Well, the only thing I know is what I've been told or what I've read,
Red. Okay.
that it's like that it's supposed to help some mental clarity, maybe help with uh sleeping better, lowering stress, helping resilience, some things like that.
Okay.
I don't really know how to tie it in other than
Okay.
what I've been told.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So what's holding you back from doing it more consistently, you think?
I think that let's start with the ice bath. For one of the reasons that I believe that it helps increase resilience is because it really sucks. And anytime we do something that really sucks, it increases our resilience, right? So I think by nature, the fact that it really sucks is what holds you. Like, it doesn't take a brain. Like, it's not hard. This is not tough for me to tell you why you don't do it, because I've done it enough to go, like, even when I do it and I see a little bit of benefits, it's like, I don't, each time you don't, like, I don't want to do it.
Do you
You know
find
what I
that with
mean?
sauna or is that mostly the ice bath?
The sauna, it's mostly the ice bath, but the sauna is similar too, because I just don't like, I don't like getting hot.
Yeah,
It's like, I start sweat. It doesn't take long, and I don't want. And I'm like, I
it
can
does.
feel it in my head. Like, if I say I want to be in there
Oh,
for 20 minutes, I can, in 10 minutes I can be like, I'll be like, this has got to be good enough, right? It's got to be good enough.
gotta be
It's
helpful.
like you
Yeah,
say, yeah. You're like
rationalizing.
yeah. You start rationalizing. Plus, it's it's both. I'll be honest. Both of them feel like I they're a
Mm,
little. I don't want to use boring, but in order to do this, it takes a little bit of a chunk of time, and I don't. I. It's funny. I hadn't thought
time
about that,
is
but it's
enough.
like I could be doing, like, there's other things I could be doing other than sitting
I
doing nothing.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a
So
couple obstacles.
yeah, way more than I thought you were going to come up with.
No, I that's it's no, I think they're there, right?
Right. So what could you be doing in your head while you're in the ice bath?
I don't know. It's real. Have you, and it's hard to think of anything else.
True, true. Your senses
So
screaming to your brain. Yeah.
I honestly, it's really hard. So maybe that's the thing. Um, maybe that's it. Maybe that's, I don't know, or maybe I don't need to be. Maybe it's good for me to not think.
Mm, that's definitely an option. Yeah. Just let your body talk to you.
That's interesting because I know that I'm not very good at that either. Just like what you talk about. I'm just here. I'm here looking, thinking, and I happen to look up on my board, and I just see the word mindfulness. I must have went, and I'm like, what a perfect opportunity to be mindful
Mm.
whenever you're in either the extreme
Freezing.
heat or the extreme cold, and
Right.
just be like,
Right.
just go ahead and feel it. Just go. It's okay. Just go ahead and feel it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a tough thing, but
Maybe that's the thing.
there's
Maybe
some
that's because yeah, maybe that's the thought is that mindfulness is all about letting go of everything else, past, present, or past and future, and focusing
yes,
on the present. And maybe this is a really good opportunity to be in the
in that
moment.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm.
Because now you got my brain going because I'm thinking what I more than likely I would probably want to sit in the sauna and the ice bath with my headphones on, trying to distract myself.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm
well,
wondering maybe that's the opposite. Maybe that's not what I should do.
yeah.
I don't know.
Then you have a clear line of thinking while you're in the midst of extreme. So let me
It's
ask you
interesting.
this. Yeah. When
Yeah.
you were, at first, is it okay if I go back to something that I know about you?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. When you were going through your two um, difficulties, the
Yeah. Well,
shucks,
my cancer and my
your
stroke. Are
cancer
you
and the
referring to?
stroke. I couldn't think of the word stroke.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried.
It's okay. It happens. Yeah.
Um, that took some real intense focus on your part to work through all of that. Like there was some grit involved there.
It's interesting that you say that because I'm not disagreeing with it, but it
You
that
can.
is there's a different no, it's not a disagreement. There's a difference. And I talk about this all the time. The difference between in like intentional adversity and mandatory adversity, and that felt like
Okay.
mandatory. Like I didn't have
Right.
in my mind I didn't have a choice.
Hmm.
Now I think some of my doctors and my therapists and my speech therapists would tell me different. They're like there are people that just give up and don't try to get better.
Hmm.
Um,
I guess
but I
that's
never.
where I'm going. You had
Yeah.
definite fortitude going on
Mm-hmm.
that was very intentional and intense versus some people. So, where in that can you draw on that you can say maybe ice bath is more mandatory for you based on what you feel the benefits are?
Do you know what? I don't want to answer your question because I had another thought.
Okay.
What you prompt, what
Yeah.
you've,
Yeah.
what it makes me think is that when I have survived something like that, there's this little voice in the back of my head that says, Matt, maybe you've got enough grit and resilience already. Do you really need to be doing ice baths and
Oh.
saunas? Right?
Is there something you're
What are you
trying to
trying? Like,
prove? Yeah.
you took the words out of my, like, what are you trying to prove? Huh?
Hmm.
Like you already know, like you feel like you suffered something pretty that was pretty tough. Maybe you're good,
Yeah.
but I don't like when I say that.
You
I
don't
don't
want to
like it.
rest on your laurels, so to speak.
It doesn't taste when I say that it doesn't taste good at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like
I don't think
I
you
don't
can
know,
coast on fortitude and
right?
resilience. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I think what I need to do is think about. I think maybe that I survived some of that stuff or came out on top of some of that stuff because I did. I mean, I did some tough stuff before that, right?
Mm.
I didn't do saunas and ice baths, but I did, a
Okay.
lot of running and I've done a lot of other things and that were tough. So maybe I need to think about. I don't know. You never know. You never know how much perseverance and how much grit you're going to need. That's the thing.
Yes.
And I don't think you can ever have too much of it.
Right. Right. Where do you think yours comes from?
I think that it's a lot of it comes. I think it's all built by things that we do on purpose, and why we choose to do those is a whole lot of things. What you grow up with, what you're around, the people that influence you, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so if I'm getting influenced by this and feel like this is something I should do, and then just I need to just do it.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So suppose your 85-year-old self walked in the room right now.
Yeah.
Got a
He
picture
just
there?
no, I do. Yeah, keep going.
What would you ask him?
It's great. It's a great question. I don't know that I'd ask him. Oh, I'd ask him, what do I need all this? Like, what's coming? What's coming? Like, what do you need this resilience and grit for?
Mm,
What's like? I would just want to know. Although
yeah.
I wouldn't want to know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But
I mean,
then
if I,
how would he answer you?
well, I wish I knew, but I mean, I mean, I
Maybe
think,
you do.
I mean, I mean, that's what is that 30 for me? That's 36 years in the future, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like something's going to happen, right? Something's
Inevitably.
going to happen. So
Yeah.
inevitably, something's going to happen. So I think the idea, I guess that's the idea is like, I'm not going to, I've had there's some tough things that I faced, but that doesn't mean they're done, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
Okay.
I feel if I can do this, it'll build some resilience
Yeah.
and honestly, another one of the things I talk about it really helps with, and I've felt this a little bit when you do the sauna, when you do the ice bath, it does give you a little bit of mental clarity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh
It
yeah.
helps it. So I think that's a really good. It's an interesting thought. Maybe if I do the sauna and the ice bath and I do it a little bit with mindfulness, I get that a little bit of mental clarity, and maybe I'll know what I'm needing it for, right?
Yeah.
Or be like, maybe I know that seems like circular logic, but like just get an ice bath and you'll figure it out. Like,
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
but I mean, I'm at this point, like I told you, Tracy, I'm just going off of what I've just seen on
Gotcha.
social media or a couple things that
Right.
I've read. So I
Yeah.
really need to just start doing it consistently and see what I get.
What's consistent to you?
That's a good question. I think I want to. I mean, I'm pretty good at getting workouts in, whether it's lifting
Yeah.
or practicing jujitsu. I'm pretty good at those. As in, I probably get a workout in 4 to 5 times a week. So
Yes.
I don't really need. I feel good about that, but I think the sauna and ice bath are probably a really good thing to just do right after that.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that why not? It that feels like stacking habits. So it's like, oh, you get done with your workout before you. I mean, we're talking 20 minutes in the shower, 20 minutes in the sauna, and 5 minutes in the ice bath, and we're talking 30 minutes. Just add 30 minutes. I think I can budget that.
You can. Yeah. Okay.
I think I can. I think I can
Yeah.
make sure that it's going to take a little bit of calendar work and stuff, but I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm not doing it at all now. So I think that if I start doing it, yeah,
Yeah.
it's an improvement. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think it looks like we're close to the end of our time here.
Yeah.
What would you say might be a moment of clarity or insight that you got?
I just think that I've done it. I've practiced it a couple times enough to see a little bit of benefits. It's got to be compounding. Like
Yeah.
it's got to, like, the more I do it, as much as I read about it, the more I hear about it. And anything that you do, I know that I love this. You told me, you wrote this in a card once. Anything that you do intentional, like if you do things intentionally,
Yeah.
there's just good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this is supposed to be good for me on a couple of the levels. If I just am intentional about it. There's no reason it's not going to be like the other things that I've done so far that I'm like, it has become part of my routine,
Mm.
and I'm feeling really good about my routine so far. And we're,
Oh,
you
good.
know, 4 or 5 months into the year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something anybody would do with you?
I think I'm going my wife will probably do it some with me.
Okay.
She absolutely, she loves the sauna, hates the ice bath. I mean, hates it.
Yeah.
My it's May. My son is coming back. He's crazy. He's all about it. He just does it. He's
Okay.
got this. He gets into it a lot. So I think that. Well, the thing is, I'm talking about it here on my podcast. I'm putting it out there. It's
Yes.
when I say it, I'm pretty good about it. If I say that I'm going to do it, I especially on a podcast, I put it out there, and so
Right.
everywhere I'm going to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're looking for that accountability piece, and I think just by putting
Well,
it out on my,
I'm also thinking having someone to talk to about it. Like
that's a good
after you're
question.
done, is there someone you can say, "Hey, I just got out," and I don't know if it's commiserating or if it's like, "Hey, this is what I'm feeling now," or I'm starting to feel someone to talk to about it in that regard.
So okay, now hold on here. I like this. So one of my things now, I'm starting to see a pattern of all the things that I do. So because right now I'm still doing my fasting. I fast like 16
Yes.
and then eat 8, and then I stop, and I do write my gratitudes, and I do my prayers. And I usually do that. My workout is in the fasting, and then I come home
Mm.
and I write my gratitudes, and I pray, and then I break the fast. Well, now while I'm writing my gratitudes and doing a little bit, I think that's a good time for me to journal a little bit about what I'm noticing, what I'm seeing, so
Mm.
that I can see it. So
Yep.
I've got a notebook. It's going to be an opportunity. I've journaled about my fasting a little bit, and that's pretty set. I feel really good about that. So I can just
Good.
switch and start doing some journaling about the cold plunge and the
Hmm.
sauna, and just so that I can say, what am I noticing? How
Yeah.
am I doing?
Yeah.
Um,
Like
yeah,
after the first week, kind of check in with yourself. After the first
yeah.
month, check in with yourself. Yeah.
Because I'm not telling, like, I could do this for this month and be like, this is like, it's not beneficial for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm
And
fine
that's
with that.
information.
Yeah, and that's it. But that's fine. But I want to be able to say, without a doubt, yes, this is something I want to do, or no, this is not
Right.
something I need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. Cool.
find out when is a good time. Like, you're like, man, I'm kind of my brain's getting foggy. I'm feeling kind of weak. I need to kickstart some resilience. I'm going to start doing this for a week. Maybe that's what I find out. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I want to do it enough to have that idea.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
journaling, I think, is going to help you a lot
It's
to just kind of
always,
track what's happening. Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, hey,
Okay.
is there anything else you want to end the session on?
No, I'm sure I didn't, I'm sure I'm sure I didn't, I sure didn't get you excited to try it.
I will, at the end of my shower, I turn it on
You
cold
do that.
for as
You know what they
long as
say?
I can stand it.
Yeah, but they say that's helpful too, right?
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
do
No,
do
it's
that.
good.
Yeah.
There you go. See, there you go.
But jumping
That's
in
something.
ice cold water and staying there for 5 minutes, I don't know that I could handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see if I
We do
can
what
too
we
or not.
can.
Yeah, I know. So, okay. All
I
right,
want to
Tracy.
hear
Thank
about
you.
this after a little
I
bit.
will. Well, absolutely. I will.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll check in with you towards the end of the month.
Excellent. Love it.
Will do. All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right.
This is
Thanks,
great.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. After battling cancer and recovering from a stroke, I decided I wanted to change careers. I knew I wanted to help others thrive while living a life that aligned with my values. I realized that flourishing in life is a choice, and I wanted to help others do that through courageous actions. And luckily, I found Lark Song and became a certified coach. From certified professional coach training to cutting-edge well-being education and impactful workshops and community partnerships, Lark Song programs equip you with the skills and confidence to make a real difference in your life, your community, and beyond. But Lark Song isn't merely about education, and it isn't about changing careers necessarily. It's about transformation. It's about turning dreams into reality. Are you ready to accelerate your journey to a more fulfilled and flourishing life? Visit larksong.com today to learn more. A better future starts today. It's interesting, even though I am a coach and I've been coached a lot, I really enjoy being coached. And obviously this wasn't a difficult topic and we didn't have to go into anything too transformative, but just that's the importance of coaching, is it just helps you gain some insight and a little bit of motivation, a little bit of accountability. And that's what a professional coach does. And that's what I love about it, is that it takes a person from an idea of where they are to where they want to be. And we can live forever like that. Just going through day to day and saying, oh, I wish this, I can't get this, I'm not doing this. And it just becomes all these dreams and these ideas and things that we want to become just continue to be just ideas floating up. And that's where a coach can help you put those ideas together and be like, hey, here's my point A where I am to point B where I want to be. How do I do this? How do I get the insight on the motivation that I need and the plan and all these things? And it's just so much fun, and it's such a great thing. Like I said, even though this was a simple one, even though I knew I wanted to do a sauna and ice bath, it's not something I really want to do, even though I know how important it is. And working with Tracy there just really helps me understand, okay, here's where I want to go. Here's what I want to do. And that's what I've been doing with these monthly metal challenges, just so that you can see I get a coach on here just to help me really figure out what I want to be, getting there and having that accountability. It's really good stuff. So that's my plan. Now we're going to get into talking to my wife. She is awesome, Dana, just a beautiful, loving, supportive woman. And I'm so thankful to have her. She's so supportive. When early on in the end of December, when I started coming up with this idea, she was like, she was like, I'm excited. I want to be able to do this. Now I have the time for this. This is my job, mental health, and I'm doing all this stuff. So I can make time for this and call it my job. Dana's busy. She's an executive, really busy. It's tough for her to fit all that time in, which is why we do her segment, call it Dana's Mettle in Minutes. Just she's trying to do these things on a lower key level than what I'm doing, but just still to see some, to prove that you can do it even on a busy schedule, even if it's not as much. And so I'm so thankful for her to do that. She's been so supportive, and she's been just a real trooper on all this stuff. This month may be a challenge. Dana loves the sauna. I feel like she could sit there all day. Just loves it. As much as she loves the sauna, she hates the ice bath that much or more. So this is going to be tough. I'm interested to see. I haven't even talked to her about this. So we're going to do this Dana's Mettle in Minutes segment here and just see what she has to say and what her plan is. So let's go. Okay, Dana. So I've been bragging on you for supporting, joining in, doing all the things that I'm doing on the Monthly Mettle Challenge. And I know that this is going to be the one. This is going to be one that's really half. Well, it's half of it's phenomenal,
Correct.
and half of it isn't. And just I know that's not something you want. But I appreciate you at least being a good sport. Of course, we haven't seen how it works yet. So yeah, so you know what the challenge is. I'm gonna do sauna and then ice bath and probably do them bang bang. And my goal is to do it after every workout. Like when I work out, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna have to budget time for that. And it's gonna take a little bit of work. You wouldn't have to do it that way, but that's my goal. I know you love the sauna. I know you love the I don't know which is more. Do you love the sauna more than you hate the ice bath, or is that a toss up?
It might be a toss up. I do love the sauna. I think I love the sauna more than I hate the ice bath.
Okay. So what's your plan?
Okay. So
Yeah.
my plan is to do at least one of them a day. So I'm not and
So you
I won't do the sauna every day.
okay.
I believe as I've thought through this, honestly, a cold shower is another option I'm throwing in there because I know I've got some travel in May, so a cold shower will be what I need to do.
Right.
Also, just depending on what my day looks like, I think a cold shower is something I can definitely do and begin to incorporate, right? Like why not do it every day? Then my thought is on the weekends, double back to back, do the sauna and the ice bath. And then yes, I will my intention is a couple more times a week throw in the sauna. Just I love the sauna. And for me, it kind of pulls back into prior months because when I'm in the sauna, like I use it as time. I spend that time praying and just going through like my gratitude list. And it's like a 2-for-1 bang for me because I'm in there and I'm just so intentional about my thoughts and how I spend that time in addition to just being so relaxed.
I like it. One of the things I'll ask then.
Yes.
I'd like you to. This is a yes, no, modify. Okay. That's a coaching thing.
Okay.
So I'd like you to track your showers / ice baths. Like how long?
Yes.
Because my goal is not like just to see if you get better at it. You're like, hey, by the beginning, like I could get up to my waist for a minute. And by the
I'm
end,
waiting if I'm my waist.
well, that's okay. That's my point. Like so that you could be intentional about I'm getting better at this. Because one of the goals from it, you get all sorts of mental benefits from an ice bath, but one of them is actually just building a little resilience and saying, hey, if I did it for a minute, I can do it for 90 seconds. And if I can get up to my hip, I can get up to here. Or so I would like to see a little bit of tracking. If you're tracking.
I think that's a very reasonable ask. It's a good ask because it will then push me right? Because I might squat in it, right? And so or just stand in it, get my calves. So I appreciate that challenge because it will push me I want to be able to look at you after I'm complete the ice bath and at least say I sat down on my bottom. And not be the total wimp in the household, especially as Lane comes home. I know he likes it as well, and I just can't wimp out as much as I have in the past.
Okay, well that's fair enough.
So, but I'm excited. I know you get a lot of benefits from it. I feel like the benefits you get out of the cold bath is what I appreciate in the sauna. I do appreciate our sauna only being one person, so I don't have to share it with you anymore because you fidget way too much in the sauna for me. But
it's so hot. I'm not really like it's so hot in there. I know that's the goal.
I'm excited to see if I can come to get the same benefits out of the ice bath that I do in the sauna.
All right.
So I'm excited for the challenge. But can we recap on this last month though?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was digital detox was last. So absolutely, yeah.
So I'll be brief, but I did appreciate. I found we always communicate. We talk at supper, right? But we were way more intentional on not having our phones with us, even of an evening. And I found it just like random. You might not have appreciated, but random thoughts I would just have. Like I don't know. I felt like the conversation was just a little more free and a little bit more sporadic because we didn't have our noses in our phones during a commercial break or something.
Yeah.
So I appreciated just not being connected to it, not worrying about where it was. Oftentimes throughout the month, like I would totally leave my phone in another room and I wouldn't panic. Like I wouldn't care. And it was just,
Right.
it was a nice change. And I did go back and look at my usage, and my social media apps were definitely way down.
Yeah.
So text messages and emails were the primary things I used my phone for in the last month.
It's amazing. You do that and then you're like, I really didn't miss out on anything.
No.
Like it's
No.
right. It's
So
that
yeah,
because
it
that's
was
the
nice.
the FOMO thing. Like I gotta like it's like you think you have to see everything and it's like no, it's fine.
Yes. So I hope we can just keep that up. I know every once in a while, like something might be going on and we'll have our phones
Sure.
with us, but I liked not panicking when I didn't know where my phone was.
Right, which is it's nice.
Such a freeing
I did
feeling.
start to lose mine more this month because I've used it left, and I'm like, there were several times I'm like, where's my phone? I'm like, oh, I left it in my charger, right? And then which is where it should be.
That's where your mom would say to get an Apple Watch so then you can find your phone.
And then it's
that's how she uses hers. I love it. But no, yours was on the charger a lot.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good challenge. It was different, maybe not quite. I feel like the prior months were more specific, more intentional. This one, I didn't track you didn't get the same feelings you got with gratitude or when we were diving into faith more. Like this one, I didn't really think about what am I missing out on or what am I doing instead with my time. It definitely felt more freeing.
Yeah, I think I noticed when you were talking about at dinner or TV not having it, it made it. Then whenever we'd forget and you'd have it on you and you pick it up, suddenly you realize that you're like, oh, I'm on my phone. Why am I on my phone? It felt suddenly just like getting away from it for a little bit. Suddenly it was like, what am I doing? Yeah. So it was nice to do that.
Yeah, agree.
All right. So sauna, ice bath, we'll get a recap in a month. You got this.
Me luck.
You got this.
I'm going to have like my cold winter gear on and sit in the ice bath.
All right. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Mm-hmm. Coaches, do you dream of guiding mentally tough athletes towards a championship? Kids that are resilient, persistent, and unshaken by setbacks. Well, in today's world, those athletes aren't born. They have to be developed. Many athletes face significant challenges and risk burnout. So how do we foster that mental toughness without overwhelming them? Well, introducing the Ember to Inferno program, Building Mentally Tough Athletes. This series is designed specifically for coaches, offering a deep dive into your own journey of mental toughness and equipping you with practical tools to build confidence and belief in your athletes. Rather than just simply adding more adversity to their life, we focus on creating a strong foundation for mental resilience. You'll learn how to transform a spark of motivation into a blazing fire of toughness, using techniques that address challenges like social media pressures, athletic stress, and trauma. Don't just wish for mentally tough athletes, build them. Join the Ember to Inferno program today and ignite the potential in your athletes. For more information, contact me, Coach Thomann, at Mental Mettle Coaching. Parents, is your athlete ready for the upcoming sports season? They might have the strength, the speed, and the skills, but without confidence, they can still struggle when the game is online. Skill and strength are great, they're necessary, but they're not used to their full potential without the right mentality. Confidence is key. It's the key to unlocking that full potential. And at Mental Mettle Coaching, I offer personalized sessions designed to build the confidence your athlete needs for a successful season. My proven techniques empower them to perform under pressure, both on the field and in life. Don't let a lack of confidence hold them back. Book a free session today and discover the power of confidence. Visit the website, get started on the journey to a more confident, successful athlete with Mental Mettle Coaching. Again, I'm so thankful that Dana's my partner in life and partner in doing this stuff. She's such a good sport. I'm going to do my best to try to really keep her encouraged and going a little bit longer and a little bit more on the ice bath. I'm really going to work on it. Within reason. I don't need to upset her about it, but it's because I know she hates it. But I'm really going to try to encourage her. So if you listen to this and you know Dana, just ask her how it's going. See if you can help me out with that. So I'd appreciate that. And I know that. So a couple things about our plan here, and doing the sauna and ice bath. You may not have access to them, and I get that. My son Lane, who was on last week's podcast, if you didn't hear that at all, you should go back and listen to it. It was a really good one. He loves the sauna and ice bath. My wife loves the sauna, and then I knew I was going to do the ice bath for the show, so we got some relatively inexpensive models for them, but we have them. They're just the sauna is just the one you zip in, just a little tent, and it's just an inflatable tub for the ice bath. So they're not that big a deal. So they're not too bad, but I understand why you might not do that. But don't tell me you can't have access to cold therapy if you really want to do this. That's just an excuse. You have, that little handle on your shower, and you go all the way to the right. It goes to the left too. So you can just do a cold shower and up your time on that, or you have a bathtub and you can go buy ice. If you listen to this and you're like, oh, that sounds cool, but don't give me the but. Like find a way to do it. If you want to do this and you want these benefits, then do it. And that's kind of where coaching comes in. We have all these big ideas and things that we want to do. And you're like, oh, I'd like to see this benefit. I got this huge long list of benefits from sauna and ice bath, right? And when I read it, they're just phenomenal things. You're like, oh, check. I'd like all these things. And then we hit the but. Well, but I don't have time. I don't have this. I don't have an ice bath. Okay. So don't do an ice bath. Do something else. Do something else that I've been working on. But stop with the buts, right? Like if you want to get better and you want to gain some metal, forge your metal, then this is how you do it. And if you feel like that's your life, that you're like, I can't get there. I just can't get there. That's, again, I can't say it enough that that's what a coach does. I know that my main goal is I work a lot with athletes and I go into schools and work with coaches, but I do life coaching for individuals, adults all the time. So if you're listening to this and you're just like, I want to start moving forward, I want to have some transformation in life, I want to become what I think I can become, but I don't know how to get there. The life coaching part of my business, it is phenomenal stuff. It is just fantastic. If you lean into it, and you really are excited about moving forward, it is such a transformative process that can help you to get there. And I know I'm getting there from talking about ice baths, but I think it's a great example because we have all these things that, oh, that might help, but I can't do that, or I won't do that, or I don't have this or whatever. Like you can have excuses all the time. And if you just struggle to get somewhere and you're just not doing it, that's where a coach can really help you out. And I'm really, I would love now there's things like coaching isn't therapy, but it's got some similar things. And one thing that I've always found about coaching and therapy and these things is like, there's really good coaches, there's really good therapists, there's really not as good coaches and not as good therapists. But it's not even about whether they're good or bad. A lot of times it's a connection, right? So if you have a connection and you feel like that is your type of person, you're like, I kind of like that guy, or I like that woman, I could have a conversation with her, then that's going to make them a much better therapist and coach if you feel like you have some connection with them, because it's everything. So if you're listening to this podcast and you've made it this far and you've listened to episodes, and you kind of like the way I talk and the way that I think about things, like imagine, again, this sounds like a pitch, but it kind of is, right? Like imagine working with me one-on-one as a coach to help you become what it is you want to become. And that's, again, it's a beautiful thing. I love doing it. It's a transformative process. And I'm trying to do a little bit of that when I just challenge you with the Monthly Mettle Challenge. The listener, I hope you're doing these things. I hope you're trying some things. But if you're like, oh man, these are great things, but I just can't get them done. I've changed I felt like I was pretty happy with the way I was doing things, but just by having the accountability of the show, being coached around it on the show, I have changed. Now I'm up to 4 or 5 different things that I have changed in my daily routine because of me being coached and having the accountability of the show. And it's changing my life, and it's making me a little bit at a time, changing those neural pathways, changing the way I think, the way I operate, the way I feel, all these things. It's very intentional, very purposeful. It's not going to happen on accident. If you want to become a different person or a better person, or reach this goal, or think about things differently and take action on things, like if you just sit there, listen to a podcast isn't going to do it. You're going to have to actually do something. And that's where taking action, working with a coach can really be beneficial. So yeah, it did turn into a pitch, but I don't care because I feel about, it's something I'm very passionate about. Obviously it's my job, but it's just such a great transformative process, the coaching process. And I'd love to work with you if you want to. So, So again, thanks to all my loyal listeners. You guys are great. Continue to like, share, subscribe. The podcast is growing. It's getting better. It's getting bigger, and I'm helping more people, and I love that. So I can't thank you enough. I'm your host, Coach Matt Thomann. This has been the Mental Mettle Podcast, and always remember to forge your metal. Thanks for listening to the Mental Mettle Podcast. Don't forget to tune in every week for more insights and strategies to help you forge mental toughness and resilience. This podcast is brought to you by Mental Mettle Coaching, where we are driven by a passion for sharing knowledge and experience that empowers others to play, live, and grow with confidence. Our mission is to instill a resilient and spirited mindset in our clients, enabling them to confidently face adversity and actively seek new challenges for personal growth. At Mental Mettle Coaching, we offer individual coaching, group coaching, and professional development for schools and businesses. Whether you're an athlete, educator, or professional, we're here to help you unlock your potential and thrive in every area of life. Until next time, keep growing, stay resilient, and always remember to forge your metal.